What's up, guys? Chris from Killer Arcade Games here. Today's a very exciting video. This is going to be a little longer of a video, but I'm going to pick up a Killer Instinct potentially. The only reason I say potentially is we've been going back and forth, like, how are we going to get this thing out of your house? So what I've done is hired professional movers in the area to meet us there. He's moving stuff in the house to get this thing out. The story is it was in his garage. They enclosed the garage and made it a room, but now getting it out of there wasn't very easy. So I think it's gonna work out though. It's all been measured. The movers are all lined up to come help out. So I'm heading up to San Angelo, Texas. It's very cold out. I'm gonna be once again doing truck camping. I'm sorry, let me say, it's very cold for Texas. It's gonna be like freezing weather tonight. I'm gonna be camping in the back. Luckily I have electricity, so I'm gonna have a heated blanket. But anyway, I just thought I'd give you guys an update. That's where we're starting off. Let's see how it ends up. Hey guys, I just went and checked out the arcade the night before. I didn't really plan to do that, but he offered to let me come on by and check it out. And I'm really excited for it. It looks like we'll be good. Looks like we'll be able to get it out of the house. I'm probably not gonna record the process of getting it out of the house just because I'm paying movers and I don't want them to feel weird about being recorded or anything. But hopefully all goes well. And you might be able to tell if it went well or not from the video thumbnail, but a little suspense. I'm actually in suspense over here. I think we're gonna be good though. So it's the morning of the pickup. I totally forgot to show you guys my sleeping setup. You guys may have seen it if you watched my last trip video, which had nothing to do with arcades necessarily, but here it is. So it was 32 degrees when I woke up this morning. I have a sleeping bag, a quilt, and a heating blanket. I had electricity, so I plugged it in, and I just bundled up in there, but it was really rough to sleep, actually. This is a camper shell on my truck, and it was actually a little too cold. I was fine under the blankets, but every time I was breathing that freezing air, I was miserable. But hopefully it's gonna be worth it. Hopefully I'll be leaving with a Killer Instinct. I don't really care if I had a rough night of sleep, as long as this thing goes through just fine. It's on the trailer, it's all tied down. Just stopping to make sure everything's still good. Got it wrapped up and put string around it just so the art doesn't get too smacked around by the wind. But I think we're all good, and I'm heading home. Hopefully we can get this beast off the trailer. The movers did it so easily, but I don't know if I'll be that good at it. Two guys just picked this thing up and carried it like it was nothing.
Supreme victory! Available for your home in 1995, only on Nintendo Ultra 64. Killer Instinct.
Hey everybody, Chris with Killer Arcade Games here. I'm standing next to a Killer Instinct that I now own. Yes, I said I own it. It's been the holy grail cabinet for me since the beginning, ultimately. I played this game as soon as it came out in 1994. And I've been blown away ever since, and I truly never really thought I'd own one. I mean, off and on, I was like, I think I can make it happen. Maybe one day, maybe if I have room. Well, I finally just decided today better be the day, and I decided to make room as quickly as I could. And so now it's in the garage. It's not ideal currently, but we'll get to that later. I'm working on a different solution down the line. But I'm so very happy to own this thing. It's truly a dream come true for me. I have to thank you guys out there for watching my videos. I normally wouldn't just have the money laying around to go buy an arcade game I've always wanted. You know, I mean, of course, as an adult you have money, but it's usually for emergency stuff, you know, things like that. So I don't have to think twice when that stuff pops up because of you guys watching my videos. I know ads are annoying, but you guys seriously made this happen for me, so thank you guys very much for that. And also, the guy I bought it from, I think, found me through the channel anyway. He wanted it to go to a good home. I paid movers to get it out of his house. Thankfully, everything went smoothly, and it's back here, and it's home, and it's where it's gonna stay for a long time. I really got extremely lucky with this one. The seller, Michael, was very nice about the price. He didn't gouge, and he didn't go crazy, but he also got, I think he got what he wanted out of the deal, which is really good too, and it's out of his house. So I think overall, we were both very happy with the deal, and it worked out great. He even threw in an extra non-working KI PCB, so how much better of a deal can it get at that point? I'm gonna see if I can get this thing working. We're gonna test it and try to tell what's wrong with it possibly. And if I can get it working, I'm gonna keep this thing as a nice backup because you never know when these boards are gonna fail. All right, now let's take the camera off the tripod and I'm gonna show you guys the details of the cabinet, show you what's wrong with it, which luckily there's not a lot wrong with it, but let's take a look. So first I should probably talk about the cabinet's history, which luckily I know a little bit about now because the guy who sold it to me has actually owned this cabinet since 2001, which is amazing because you know these things change hands a lot. You never know what's happened to them in between. He got it from a place in Florida before that, so I assume it was on location for about 6 years in an arcade, and then other than that, it's been in his garage, which got converted into a living space, so it had air conditioning, so it's been in a pretty good space for a while. It does have some damage from its time in service, and we'll start by, I guess, just looking at the marquee first. From what I can tell, this is the original marquee. I won't know until I pull it off. I haven't pulled any of this stuff out yet. You know, it needs a general cleaning. It's kind of been, you know, I guess when it was in his garage, it developed a little bit of dirt and dust that got shifted around when we moved it. But I'll clean it all up, no big deal. Hopefully the marquee print doesn't rip. I can see there's a, you know, tiny hole in it there, or maybe a hole in the, I don't know, maybe if it's a hole in the print, but either way, it's in pretty good condition. It's a little yellowed. It's clear they allowed smoking on this cabinet wherever it was when it was in service as an arcade. But as far as I know, the seller did not smoke around it or anything. Glass is dirty, but that comes with it. The monitor, my God, guys, look at this monitor. It looks really, really good. My friend Jojo from the Wicked Arcade came over to work on my Rush yesterday, and we looked at this monitor. He realized that this monitor's probably never been touched. It's still the original monitor. It doesn't even look like it's needed much service. It's got the original parts around the capacitors and things that you can't get to. I can't remember the terminology, but basically it looks like it's never been messed with. And look at this thing. I mean, you can kind of tell in the video, this monitor is like nearly perfect. I don't have any complaints with the monitor. It made the shipping trip just fine. There was no problems. I put it on a trailer, laid on its back, wrapped it up in a tarp and everything, and it still didn't have any problems when it got here. One other thing I've noticed is this is the seizure warning that's supposed to be at the top. So when I pull this glass out and clean it, I'm gonna make sure it's flipped back the right way. I think I'm gonna get one of those how to play things for down here. I don't know that I'll go with the big bezel that has all the moves on it. I'm gonna try to keep this thing as close to stock as possible. The other thing is it's probably gonna need new T-molding, not so much up here, but we'll get to this down here, I guess. You can see, let me focus on that. You can see somebody had been smoking on this cabinet. Down here, maybe a little, I don't even know if that's rust, but maybe a little rust down there. It needs a general cleaning, like I said, a few touch-ups on the art. I think I actually did this during shipping because I covered this part with the ratchet strap, but I put a big blanket over it and it was flapping in the wind. I think it chipped off some of that. Thankfully it's in the black and I can clean that up really easily. So looking at the deck here, you can see there is a burn mark in the T-molding. There's cigarette burns on the actual plexi, but it looks like the art is okay. It's just a little dirty under there probably. Some dirt must have got under it over time. I'm not gonna pull it up till the new one comes in. I've already ordered the new one from XL Arcade. More burn marks there, more burn on the T-molding. I hate when people smoke on these cabinets. If you wanna smoke, go outside. That's how I always feel, but it was the 90s. Also, I think these controls are 100% original. Look how smooth off this joystick is. I mean, it's completely smooth. You can never tell it had texture on it. Same thing with the Player 2 side. They work pretty well still. I was kind of shocked by it, but this one it's a little chunky going up right there. It just needs, the buttons in general need to be replaced, I think. The switches, I'm just gonna do a whole new kit probably from Tornado Terry's. I may look into the IL Euro sticks. I know everyone keeps talking about those. T-molding's actually coming off here, by the way, and I think the wood's kind of worn out right there, so I'll put some wood glue on there, tape it closed, and we should be good once it seals up and dries. Down on the front, the coin door actually works. Need a little work on the left slot. It's just a screw that's loose from what I can tell, but you can lock it, or whichever way it is. There it is. It can be locked. Everything inside seems to work. My monitor adjustment's right there of all things, but it doesn't have a backing on it, so I'm not letting it go anywhere near metal. There's actually 2 coin boxes inside of here. I'm not gonna pull that open because it's a little difficult. I may try to remove that and putty over it and see if we can make it look better, but I may wait on doing that initially at least. But other than needing just a general cleaning probably and maybe some touch up on the black, the front looks really good. Let's take a look at the side art now. It's really hard for me to squeeze in here without blocking the light, but the side art on this side especially, we got a little nick here that can be cleaned up. It's largely perfect. There is a gash in Spinal's arm right there, but you can't really tell when you move out. Like, it kind of looks like it's almost part of the image. It's really weird. So I think I'm just gonna leave that alone. Maybe fill in some of the black right there, but probably leave it alone for the most part on that. We zoom out here. You can see the Nintendo logo's been beat up a little bit. I'm gonna try to just keep it stock. I don't really have plans to replace it yet, but I think I can clean a lot of that up, thankfully. It won't be perfect, it won't feel perfect unless, you know, I sand it all down and then probably just put a new art on it, but I wanna keep it as stock as possible. So this cabinet is still running a hard drive. It's not the original drive. I actually have the original hard drive. It came with it with that broken board. I assume the original drive is completely dead, but I'll probably keep it just for nostalgia purposes. I mean, it still says Midway on it and Killer Instinct version 1.0, all that cool stuff. But the new hard drive that's in it is still an old hard drive. I'm kind of on the fence. I like keeping it, like I said, as close to stock as possible, but the old drive is bound to fail at some point. But it does kind of change the game a little bit. It's very minor, but on the versus screen when the game is loading, after it says fight on, it hangs a little bit longer with a hard drive versus a flash kit. A flash kit, it loads much quicker and it kind of cuts off sooner. It's extremely minor, but the hardcore Killer Instinct nerd in me really likes that old school, you gotta wait a half a second longer and hear the music a little bit more before the fight starts. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna order the flash kit either way because I wanna use it to test that board out. But maybe I'll swap it out in this cabinet eventually and just use the flash kit. Eventually I'm gonna be forced to, I'm sure though, because that hard drive is bound to fail at some point. So I guess that's all for this video. I'm gonna start the cleanup process soon. I'm gonna record most of it. You guys know what it looks like when you clean a cabinet, but I'll show you guys before and after, kind of maybe some of the process of cleaning it up. Doing the initial stuff now, it really doesn't need much work. Unfortunately, I can't get the buttons in for a little while and I can't get the plexi put on without getting the new buttons, so I'm just gonna have to deal with it being the ugly old plexi that's on there. But once I get all that stuff put on, I'll definitely update you guys with a new video and show you how much better it looks, hopefully. I gotta order some T-molding too, I just remembered. I keep forgetting to actually get that ordered. So once I get everything ordered, get it put on there, I'll record a new video and give you guys an update on how it's doing. And one last time, thank you guys so much for watching my videos, because like I said, I wouldn't have had the extra income laying around where I can just go buy an arcade cabinet last minute. Actually, that's what I did with Rush too. Rush was $400, this was $1,300, but still I had the money because I have a separate account that all my YouTube money goes into, and I just save it for buying parts or arcade one-ups, or in this case I've been buying more real arcades lately, which I prefer, but I wouldn't have had that without you guys watching my videos. And it's really not much money that comes to me through YouTube, but I've been saving and saving in anticipation of buying a Killer Instinct. And that leads me to another thank you. I want to thank Ralph, Retro Ralph, for dealing with everybody bugging him and me bugging him about buying his Killer Instinct. I know he got a lot of messages and kind of got hassled off and on, you know, jokingly about selling me his KI. Thank you, Ralph. I made sure to tell Ralph first, pretty much. He was one of the first people I told about the cabinet, just because I didn't want him finding out through the video, and meanwhile, he still thinks I'm probably gonna buy his cabinet. But anyway, Ralph knows, so you don't have to tell Ralph or bug Ralph about it. Thanks, Ralph, for dealing with me for so long on that, but I finally got one, so I don't need yours, so take your time on fixing it now. I don't care at all. Thank you guys for being here and supporting the channel for so long. It's really been exciting, and a lot of cool stuff has happened in the last couple years since I've had the channel. Stuff I never thought would happen. I own 3 real arcade cabinets now. I'm looking at building a shed in my backyard for all my arcades to go into. So all this stuff is really awesome to have, and thank you guys for hanging out. And if it's your first time seeing the channel and you're just watching this video, maybe consider subscribing for more arcade content. Give the video a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed it. Leave me a comment letting me know what you think of this purchase. I think I got a good deal. The seller's happy with his deal. I got a KI cabinet. I got a broken PCB. I think I came out pretty good. I mean, I had to drive 3.5 hours to get it, but I think it was well worth it, and I didn't have to go all the way to Phoenix, or I didn't have to go all the way out of state or anything, and I think it really worked out in my favor. Patience paid off in this case. Thank you guys for watching this video. I'll see you on the next one.